Hey, what's up guys? I thought I would show how the New Game Plus mode works on Odin. Now, before I get started, or rather while the game loads, I thought I'd explain why I haven't been recording this that much. This game's structure is a lot like Devil May Cry, in that by the time you get your full moveset, the game's pretty much over. Which is why it's great that they have a New Game Plus feature in here at all, so that you can actually, use those moves and stuff like that. So, this is one of those games where if you actually want to use the combat system to its full potential, you will have to play it again. Thankfully, there's skippable cutscenes and everything, so it's pretty much all gameplay, if you decide to just skip all the story. So basically, you get Xtra New Game, and you can choose one of the files that has cleared the game, and it will turn it into a New Game Plus file. I haven't seen that many people talking about this, so I wanted to make sure people understand the procedure. Having New Game Plus in this day and age can be a selling point if you have enough time to play through the game more than once. So basically, you select a file that's finished the game. Like for instance, I copied my first file. These other files are my friends when I was on vacation. They were trying out the game. You can just copy your file. I actually didn't go through the last book because I don't know how to get that trophy. So I went ahead and I made 2 copies of it, and I made this one my New Game Plus file. So at that point, you just load it up. There are quite a few interesting things that they changed. It's kind of like Devil May Cry, actually, in terms of how the enemies work. Like, there's more enemy rearrangements. The harder enemies appear more often than they did before. It's not just a lazy, stat increase. There's actually more to it. The enemy arrangements are changed. Also, the accessories changed, too. Now, I don't know much about this, because there's been, barely any information about this. That's kind of the whole reason why I'm making this video to begin with. But, on their first playthrough, all the accessories max at +2. I've been told that they go as high as +5. I think that's the right number. I can't really, I'll have to make an addendum about that once I finish the game. I just finished the game last night. I finished the post-game dungeon. I finished the true ending. I still have some other stuff I need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and go through a couple screens here, show how things change. I like fighting the strongest knight color right away. Normally these guys are relatively rare. They don't appear that often. Right from the start, basically, you're given the message that it's not just, jacking up the stats. As far as I can tell, the health and defense doesn't really seem to be changed that much, which is one of the better decisions that they made with this game, because if you played this game, you'd know that the recycling can get really annoying, especially if it's a boss that you just don't like fighting. You're gonna have to suck it up and realize you're gonna have to fight that boss, probably up to a dozen more times. I'm not even exaggerating. If you do all the trials and stuff, some of the bosses you'll see over 10 times. That part of the game is annoying, but it's nice that so far this New Game Plus is worth playing. If you want to speed run the game, I can already tell you're going to have to go through it more than once, just to get your equipment to the max level and stuff like that. Now I should also explain, if you finish the post-game dungeon, which is basically just a really long boss rush, I recommend putting it on easy or normal, just on the basis of how long it is. You don't want to get stuck on a boss when the level is about an hour long, actually. I think I did it on easy because my character was not strong enough to do it on normal. Each fight was taking several minutes, and there's at least a couple dozen fights. You fight every single boss in the game, be it the meager mid-bosses and then the big story bosses at the end. So you get this item which consumes phosons but increases your basic attack damage equal to the percentage of your level. So right now, I'm level 50, so I'll do 50% extra damage. Now the problem with that accessory is you pretty much will have to be maxed out, or at least have all the stuff that you want maxed out before you can use it, because it's going to eat up all your phosons. So it's definitely something you probably would use more on like a third playthrough when you have everything maxed out. Alternatively, you can go up in the post-game dungeon until you get to the slime boss, or you can find the slime boss in the story and just keep fighting that, because that gives like the most phosons out of anything, just because of how many enemies there are. I don't know if that's like the most effective farming strategy, but that's the one that I was able to think of. Still alive somehow. This is probably my favorite character, just because of how good she is in the air. It looks like you also get some extra text files from finishing a second playthrough, so if you're going for the platinum, it looks like you will have to play through the game more than once. So I'm going to go up to this, the mid-boss here, the Unicorn Knight, and then I'm going to go ahead and stop there. But I'll probably be recording more of my New Game Plus playthrough than my first Some of the drops seem to be improved as well. They seem to be of a higher quality than the first playthrough, where it's very rare to get anything above level 3. I played through about half of this off camera last night, and I didn't save for the purpose of making this video. And I got a couple decent, just random drops compared to the way it was before. Now the shops still seem to be locked to story progression, so if you start your new game file, you might want to go through all the other characters and make some items, probably make like some overloads and painkillers and stuff like that. That might come in handy later on. I've been told that at the end of this run, like the enemies like are pretty much maxed out in terms of level. Now when you get to the end of the game, this is not a spoiler about the plot at all, it's just a gameplay mechanic. You unlock a shared item box. And you can't do it on New Game Plus because you actually have to have all the characters again. But basically you have access to their all their item boxes. So you can take equipment as you see fit. Like if one character has an item you need for cooking, or they have a piece of equipment that you need, you can take it from their box and vice versa. So you definitely want to put some prep time in if you want to start this playthrough. definitely not playing as well as I was earlier today. Whatever. So that's basically New Game Plus. You do get some new equipment and stuff like that. I'm not sure when or how that drops. But I've been told it goes up as high as +5, which is pretty crazy because the +2 items are pretty good. Like, I'm kind of wrapping my head around the fact that the equipment is going to get even better. So like I said, all this stuff maxes out at +2, but apparently it goes up even farther. So if you want to speed run this game or do challenge runs or something like that, you know, if you want to do like high-level gameplay or whatever, it's probably going to be better to just go through the game twice. It's the second time, just skip everything, and, try to get all the gear you can, and then go through the game again. That's probably what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to do speed runs for Gwendolyn because she's my favorite character to control. So I'll probably do that at some point. I think I'm actually going to take a break from this game and focus on Knights of Valor for now because the game is pretty long. I mean, it took me about 40 hours to finish it. And I really don't want to get burnt out because this is definitely an awesome game. But at the same time, I feel like if I no-life a second playthrough, I'm going to run the risk of getting burnt out and not revisit it like I've done several times in the past on other projects. So the content for this might be a little sporadic, but I'll probably record some bosses with Gwendolyn on the second playthrough. Anyway, I hope this clears up some things. I haven't seen too many people talking about the New Game Plus feature. Probably just because of how long the game is. Like, it took me like 2 weeks to finish this, 2.5 weeks to finish this, and I played it relatively religiously. I have been recovering from some stuff like I've been talking about. I played this quite a bit, and it still took like 40 hours to get the New Game Plus, so that's probably why there's not much information about this. Once I see some of the higher leveled equipment, I'll try to make a video showing the stats and stuff like that, but that might take a while. Anyway, catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.